They're counting on you. We've faced and overcome so much. Sometimes I wonder how we made it through. We both know that the old ways aren't going to work this time. This journey has changed us, changed you. But it's not over yet. You need the right tools for the job.
Get on the rig, there's a way inside.
What is your name?
It's Nux. I'll pike her in the spine. Keep her breathing for you.
No. Put a bullet in her skull. Stop the rig. Return my treasures to me. And I myself will carry you to the gates of Valhalla.
Annihilated.
You will ride eternal, shiny and chrome. Attack! Help me, my boy! Here we go! Mediocre!
Troll Lord Games. Join the
Are
fray.
we live on KTLG in the afternoon? I was not prepared for this. Hold on, let me hit save. Not prepared for this. Rumbling. Save. I gotta get somewhere. I gotta do something. How's everybody doing this afternoon? It is Ask Me Anything. I am student Chenault. Troll Lord something or the other.
Witness me!
Witness me. Did you put that clip up? Mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre. I know.
Death. It's this guy again. That movie, you know, I failed. I completely failed the entire Mad Max franchise, utterly and totally. I did not go to Furiosa at the theaters, and it has already left town, I think. GM Kenny, I don't have one yet, but I'm going to fix that right now. I don't know if you guys can see my, can you see my alien?
Oh, God, what is that? What have you got going on there?
You can't make it out.
Yeah.
It's an alien.
Yeah, we see it. It's cute.
That was my birthday present.
Oh, was it? Who got you that?
Kathy did.
That's
Happy
cool.
First day of your next birthday year. Thank you. See you, give it. Today I fell off the horse before the starting gate opened. It's been all downhill. There you go. Neat blurry. Yeah, it's kind of blurry. It looks great in the office. I guess you can sort of see. The CNC Reforged contains stats for creating an opossum character. A possum character. It does not, but I think I want to put that in there. I think the chat would agree with me, if I threw assassin out and put possum person in there, it would make the game far, far better than leaving the assassin in there and giving up on the possum. Okay, Charles, I've just watched 90 minutes of England being mediocre in the European Football Championship. I need cheering up. So I'm guessing the game did not go well. So say we all. Well, what do we got going on today? We got the Kickstarter that's roaring along. It hit a completely arbitrary goal of 110,000 a little while ago. I got tremendous amounts of work done on the player's handbook. Almost everybody's edits that they have sent in have gone in. Quite a bit of new arts getting in there too. I'm super excited about, and I was just laying out the chart in the back, with all the spells and all that business. We should have it. I'm not going to commit to noon. It'll definitely be tomorrow, but I'm hoping to turn it over to Chuck around noonish and getting it out to you guys so you can have another look. We've still got a ways to go. There'll be a fans going to sit down and read the book and edit the book and all that. But it's made some amazing headway, I think. The Possum Kingdom, that's what I'm talking about. There was me with Italy yesterday. I was just I saw some, I don't follow any sports, but I did see some poor bastard Portugal. He accidentally knocked, I guess he kicked the ball to the goalie, and the goalie was heading out, and the ball went past the goalie and into the net. I think that was a Portuguese team, or the Portugal was, I can't remember who did it. It was kind of sad, really. Just kind of watching it. It's just sad to me when athletes do all of this, all this training, all these years into it, and then something like that kind of goose it up. Do not, Jeremy, touch the secret class team.
And look what rolls. And look what rolls in behind it. There's Crane, also supported. And Jeremy's over here just sitting there going, "What am I doing?"
I love that class. It's actually a very hard class to play. For those of you who don't know, the Seeker appears in the Adventurer's Backpack, and it's the only class that allows you to choose your primes. So you kind of have to anticipate what the CK is doing. You have to choose them in the morning, so you choose them and you anticipate where you're going with your character. It's challenging to play, but it gives you a lot more versatility at the table.
Feel free to come by my game on Saturday and watch Heather destroy my game. Yeah. So, yeah.
It keeps you on your toes, Chuck. That's all it does.
It does. The ABP does. That's for sure.
Keep it rolling. But at any rate, I don't plan to change much, Heather. I want. There's a few things that I know that need fixed. But poor innocent Jeremy. Jeremy's always on the warpath about something. Lord knows what. I did send you something this afternoon, Jeremy. Get to it when you get to it. Just have a gander at it. Yeah, there you go.
We did have
any questions piled up.
Well, GM Kenny Yeager asked if he's supposed to see me or not. No. On Tuesdays, this is typically Steve's stream. I monitor questions, and I'm just here to let you hear my silken voice whenever I feel like I need to share wisdom with you.
Chuck is the disembodied voice. He's the alien over my over my shoulder.
Wait, what? No.
You're the alien on the wall. Thank you, Agile Monk. Thank you. Question: How much change will the CKG have? The printed CKG seems, not hardly any at all. It seems to be the big difference between 99 and 175 pledge levels. For me, I haven't looked at the pledge levels. There's like some other stuff in there, but yes, absolutely. If the CKG is not going to change that much, so you could easily go with is it a $99 pledge level? I can't remember now off the top of my head. It's just the M&T and the PHP. What's going to change in the CKG? Man, Chuck sent me the Excel sheet a week or so ago. It's like some spell names, monster names.
There's not a lot. There's a bunch of spell names. That's about it, really.
That's mostly it. Yeah. So because the CKG was never used any of the SRD, it really shouldn't have had the open gaming license in there in the first place. It was really just it's all Troll Lord stuff. Jim Ward, me, Davis, Casey Christopherson, a whole bunch of other Jason Bay, knuckleheads.
Statler,
yeah, I absolutely love the CKG. It is filled with just bits and pieces, the nuts and bolts. It's good stuff. I absolutely love it. The hell. So since there's no questions popped up, I'm going to do a quick book review. So as some of you guys may or may not know, I went to New York City over the weekend. My wife was in a wedding. I wasn't actually in the wedding. I just wandered around New York. which was really cool. I hadn't been there in years and years and years, and I have this nascent interest in architecture. And New York City has this huge span of different types and different styles of architecture because it hasn't suffered any war. The only attack really it's ever suffered was, 9/11, but that didn't destroy whole neighborhoods and stuff like that. At any rate, so I found myself in New York City, and I had some time in the hotel and whatnot, and when I wasn't jumping around all over the place to read, and I because when I travel on airplanes, I don't like to carry hardcover books. I just grabbed this book off of my shelf. Now I haven't read this. It's called Songs from the Drowned Lands, and it's by Eileen Kernaghan, I guess is her name, and it is one of the best books I've ever read. It's just these 4 or 5 kind of longish tales that weave the idea of chaos into the world that these people inhabit, these sorcerers and sorceresses inhabit. And it's such a low-key, different take on, what Michael Moorcock and Elric and all of those, the chaos and the violence and all that. It's so low-key, but her descriptions, it's low-key on the chaos stuff, and I strongly recommend if you can get this book, pick it up, because it's really cool along those lines, but it's also her descriptions about the terrain that these people pass through. I can almost see where I read this back in 88, whenever it came out, when I used to just buy books nonstop. When was this published? 1983. I can almost see the kind of where I draw some of the source material and describing stuff when I'm running a game and I'm describing plants and whatnot. She goes into just tremendous description. Good book. If you can find it, pick up. It can't cost much. Songs from the Drowned Lands by Eileen Keegan. Good stuff. While I was rambling, Chuck, did any questions roll in?
Oh, yeah. First up, a comment by King Kothar that I want to bring to your attention, just so you didn't see it.
He said, Jeremy's on about.
We may need to confirm that the spell advice isn't out of date with any changes made to the nuts and bolts of the spells.
Spell advice.
Yeah, whatever the verbiage is around it may have changed because the spell descriptions changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is. Mel Hellstar, no clue. Question: is it exhausting being the coolest boss in the biz? Jesus Lord. I
am always exhausted. I'm not sure about the coolest boss, but I'm always exhausted. So there is that. Speaking of which, Mel, I needed to holler at you today. It'll wait till tomorrow, but I needed to give you a shout about some art and something else. Now I've forgotten. What was it? There was something as I was thinking this morning. I needed to talk to Mel, and there you go. It's like when you're reading Louis L'Amour. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's see some good comments in here. And Noah R one wanted to know: did you visit the cloisters in New York City?
Yeah, so I had I don't even know what the cloisters are, but I had very little time. We got there Friday morning at 11, I guess, by the time we checked in. So Kathy and I wandered around a little bit, ate dinner, met some of the wedding people, and had dinner with them on into the night. So Saturday she bugged out, and then I was there. Well, she and I went to the Met, and I got to say, I've never been to the Met, and I wanted, whenever I go to a museum that's that size, I have a very targeted goal. I don't go to the museum. I've been to a few museums overseas, and I don't just wander around. I say, I'm going to go look at this exhibit, and that's what I do. Because you really don't have time to, appreciate crap, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, Kathy had told me, and I had never seen it, that the Washington crossing the Delaware painting was large. So I wanted to go see that. And holy Carolina, is that thing huge.
Really?
Oh my God, dude. It's like, I don't know how big, 12 feet tall, 10 feet tall, and 20 feet wide. I don't know, it's gigantic. It is absolutely monstrous.
I'd love to have seen that. I bet that was awesome.
Yeah, it was absolutely stunning painting. I probably sat in front of it for 20, 25 minutes. And then she went to the wedding. And after that, I walked from, let's see if my New York geography, I was on 6th and 57th. And I walked to the Empire State Building, which was 20 blocks
Right.
away. I don't know which direction I was going. I'm not sure if it's east, west, north, or south. Went down Manhattan.
I mean, it's New York's so big that you can just kind of roam. It's like
Yeah. Well, that's what I did. So I just walked past Rockefeller Center and down to the Empire State Building. I'm a huge fan of Art Deco, and the Empire State Building has got, for me, there's a whole bunch of love for that building. It was the first skyscraper, really, that was, kind of took the skyline. I know the Chrysler Building was about the same time, but the story behind the Empire State Building is just really cool because there's 3 buildings competing to be the biggest building, and the Chrysler Building added like 4 feet to theirs and beat the Empire State. And then the guy that owned the Empire State goes back and says, "To hell with this," and he added 200 feet to the Empire State Building. So it just kind of blew up. And the inside's beautiful, the outside's beautiful, and it really is. It's an iconic building for New Yorkers, for New York, for that era. But also, and I know this dips into the world of fantasy quite a bit. I'm a huge fan of King Kong, the original true telling of the story in 1933, and then the remake by Peter Jackson. There was that fictionalized one in the 70s that they broke from the true story. But King Kong is really, I think, one of those stories that is very culturally apt. The primeval world was still very primeval in the 1930s. And the modern world was very industrial, and the two worlds are clashing, and America is where that's happening. And the Empire State Building becomes the focal point, obviously, where King Kong climbs up and fights the airplanes and all that stuff. So the Empire State Building, I think, culturally is this gigantic landmark in not only America, but in the human species, where it divides 2 epochs of our species development in the world. Previous, more primitive. After the Empire State Building, it is no holds barred, and now we're all the way to AI.
Somebody said that to complete the Strategis was Stratus was right next door to it, up there in New York.
Was it really? Oh, that's funny. I probably walked right past it.
You probably did.
Because I left that bill. I wandered around the Empire State Building quite a bit and just hung out there. And then I had pizza across the street. And then I went up to the New York City Library there on 6th Street. Is that right? And I had to go there because that's where Ghostbusters, you can't not go where Dan Aykroyd was. So, and Ghostbusters is, for me, it's an iconic movie. It's the first movie I actually spent. I took my very, very little precious funds in those days, and I went to the movie twice. It's the only movie I went to twice. I didn't go to Star Wars twice. I didn't go to The Return of the Jedi, Empire Strike Backs twice. I didn't go to Indiana Jones twice. I didn't have any money back in the 80s. But Ghostbusters, I love that movie so much I went twice, which for me was huge. So I had to go there.
Real quick, I just want to put this out there for anybody that's watching. We thank you guys for coming over. We do have a Kickstarter going on right now. If you want to give it a gander, here's the link right here in the chat. I know it's spamming it every once in a while too, but why not? We're doing a giveaway today. If you are on another platform like Twitch, or not besides Twitch, like Facebook or Twitter or wherever, if you would, unfortunately, we can't do the giveaways across platforms. So there's a link to our Twitch channel over here at twitch.tv/TrollerGames. If you want to come over and join, just give us a follow, exclamation point raffle. And you can get on the raffle, and you can leave and go back and watch it, whatever you want. That's if you want to. Just letting everybody know about that. Sunson says he's seen Ghostbuster more than 40 times. Holy cow.
That's awesome. No telling how many times I've seen it since it came out. Because it's just a fantastic movie. And I've actually liked the later ones as well. So the Cloisters is part of the Met. I just read. Yeah. I did not know that. I probably would have gone to it. And I may have walked through it. I walked through some medieval exhibit to get to the Washington crossing the Delaware. Okay. But I got to say, I'm not a city guy at all. I'm not. I need some acreage and some open fields, and that. But it was cool. I enjoyed walking around New York City. It was not cool, the temperature, because it's like 100 degrees. They got a heat wave going on up there. It was hotter than hell. But after a little while, you just get used to that. And you tramp. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool.
So GM Kenny Yeager says, I'm coming into CNC fresh, and that means my players will be coming in fresh too. What's your recommended starting point for a module? Undying War sounds great, but there's also the one coming in. There's also the new one coming into the Kickstarter, and I know Statler had mentioned Line in the Ropes as well. So what's your take on that, Steve?
I think so. Statler's got that's a great choice. Line in the Rope. So Line in the Rope. The only problem Line in the Rope, it really kind of starts at second level. It's kind of. I really should have, calmed the monsters down. You can definitely run it as first level. All you have to do is, reduce your hit points maybe a little bit, or adjust an armor class here and there. But Line in the Ropes is a very good one. The nice thing about the Undying War and the way those 13 adventures are designed in the beginning of it, there's so many, you'll find there's so many strands in that adventure that you can go in half a dozen different directions without actually doing the adventure. But you have encounter tables, terrain, you got other stuff that you can jump around with. On the new stuff on C0, so C1 also suffers the same thing that Line in the Ropes does, and because it starts at second and third level. But in C0, I have come up with a very, very poignant way to make certain that you can act as a higher level character than you are if you make it through C0. So I've designed C0 in such a way that you can just flawlessly walk right into C1 and then take it off from there. And it will be a beginner's, for those people new at the table. It's not completely written; it's only outlined. Do I, Chuck?
Now, a lot of people also suggested Halfling Hall, which is another good one. I like that one because it's got the little dungeon area, but you can break it out, so it's sort of modular a little bit.
So if you're coming from AD&D, you will love Halfling Hall because it is very AD&D. It is a rough adventure. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Shadows of the Halfling Hall is insanely fun and probably in our top 3 best fun adventures, I think. But it's a bruiser. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a bruiser. Fantastic Adventure is also a good, really jump-in point. It's more it's more high fantasy, I should say. And then there's Stains Upon the Green, I think, is specifically for low-level characters.
No, that's the Sky.
Stain what?
It's the Green Sky one. It's not Stains.
The Green Sky. Oh, I'm sorry. The Green Sky.
It's the Green Curses, I call it. We have green.
It's too many green. I'm going to move to orange next. I think.
And that's the one. That's the one I really want you to rewrite. Is that one because it was done so well. It's just got that whole +6 thing in there. We want to kind of.
We need to get that out of there, right?
Yeah, but it's written beautifully though. All right, so Shadows of Green Sky. Thanks, Rob. What? Okay. Right. Hagar the Horrible asks, will Reforged add storytelling or backstory rules for RP I did like how 5e kind of added some backstory character creation rules and awarded RP with inspiration?
There is some of that in both the CKG and the PH, as you know. We don't right now have intention of doing that, but that actually sounds like something that would be a really cool stretch reward. That actually would be very, very cool because one of the things that we're trying to do with the stretch rewards, which we'll roll out probably tomorrow, I'm really, both Chuck and Grace have been kind of, pushing me to wrap up the stretch rewards, but I got to get this PHB. I got to get all this stuff in because I want her done tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll get the PHB done, then we'll tackle these stretch rewards. But one of the things that we try to do with stretch rewards is make it not just stuff that we're throwing at you,
right?
That you can pile around your office or whatever, but something that actually enhances play and makes it better or easier or whatever. Like Chuck's cheat sheets, these things are great. I mean, they enhance play. You can grab them, you put them in front of your player character. Now you don't have to look up reference rules in the midst of combat because no one wants to do that. So it's one of those things that we're really trying to make this content just really playable, very, very, very useful, and not just here's whatever's going on.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Next one is from Mr. Yeager had one more. Still catching up on TLG and the relationship to Gygax licensing. It looks like the saga of Old City got a TLG print previously. Any chance that will be getting circulated again in the future?
Saga of Old City. Is that a Gord novel? What is that? I'm not sure what the Saga of Old City.
I'm going to look and see because I don't know. And
it sounds familiar.
It's bugging me. It
is.
That's exactly what it is. Fiction. Yeah.
So we don't have that license yet. We've got, I can't remember what it off the top of my head. It's this Castle Zadig, GFW, Hermit, Kings of England, Kings of France, and Hall of Many Pains is what we've got right now. We don't have the rights to Legendary Adventures, to any of D20 content, or gourd content, but we would love to. We'd absolutely love to roll that stuff out, and we have hopes for the future. And once we get through this current Kickstarter, we got a big project with Luke Gygax coming up, the 50th anniversary of what Dungeons and Dragons means to me. It's a great book. We'll debut the Kickstarter for that come Gen Con, but then we're full bore on to the Gygaxian properties, which you'll see December, January. We'll do some crowdfunding on that. Everybody needs to take a breath from the crowdfunding. It's too much. And we need to get these 3 cores out and roll. Manfred asks, how is the Hermit coming? Very, very well. I got we should have all the art in the next 10 days or so, maybe 15 days. The last of the bits and pieces of the art. So it should, I expect it'll be laid out and done by July 20th or something like that. That is the hope.
Okay. Let's see. Valley Girl Heather asks,
Heather, how you doing?
What updates can you give for what's happening with TLG at Gen Con? Give us all the deets.
So Gen Con, we decided to dive back into Gen Con this year, probably prematurely. We probably should have waited until next year. There was some scheduling issues with some other publishers that kind of pushed all of our stuff back a couple of weeks, which is perfectly fine. It all worked out wonderfully. But there was just some stuff that caused some shifting in what we wanted to do. So my hope was that we would have the 3 cores at Gen Con and be able to debut, and we're not going to. There's just absolutely no way. We'll probably have the Player's Handbook and the CKG ready by mid-July, I would think. But I can't. The M&T, there's just absolutely no way it's going to follow. And even if it's ready by mid-July, they need at least 3 to 4 weeks to print. So the cores won't be there. Amazing Adventures. There's an off chance we'll have Amazing Adventures there. The Player's Handbook. We're fixing to do some kooky stuff with that Kickstarter or whatever, Indiegogo. But what we're going to do, we'll be there in force. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to be there, and the convention crew is going to be there. It'll be Dakota and Grace, Nick and Zach and Emily will be there running the booth. And we're just going to bring a ton of Troll Nerd product. 9th printing, 8th printing. I think we got a smattering of 7th printing, the M&T, CKGs, and then a whole bunch of other stuff, and just load the booth up and let people dive in and get our Gen Con experience building again. You got to have points over there to get much done. And then once we've kind of got our feet wet, we can get back into that and get hopefully some tournaments running and all kinds of stuff by next year. That is the plan there.
Okay, let's see. Oh, and also Dale mentioned that that adventure that book was the one that got missed. He said it missed Gen Con because of a late shipment or something like that. Anyway, okay. I had that down as a comment.
Manfred, I saw your comment about the Kickstarters. Absolutely. I anticipate the Hermit and the Armory book fulfilling in the next 6 weeks. I really do.
Yeah. Let's see. The Omega Gambit asks, would Steve or Chuck or anyone like copies of my Paladin Superheroes book to review? They're relatively short, 100 pages each, PDFs, or I can mail print copies. Oh, cool.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Send them over. Yeah, send them over to me right here.
Everything to Jeremy. He loves chaos. No, I'm kidding. Just do it.
Send it to that email right there, and I'll get us a copy. I'll send it over to Steve. Just send us PDF copies. That'll be perfectly fine. Thank you so much. That's
Jeremy
awesome.
says, do not do that.
Yeah, do not do that. That is not a good idea. Let's see. Agile Monk. I just have to keep saying this. TLG's doing the CNC as a reforge and getting away from OGL, etc. has been a dream wish of mine. I am so thrilled. I have a supplement I'm working on for the new CNC already. That's great. That's awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you, Agile. Thank you for that support, and thank you for making your own content for this stuff and publishing it, whatever. I think that's absolutely, it's just brilliant. And thank you for that. I'm actually super excited about this. We should have done this on the 4th printing. It was part of the conversation, but we didn't for whatever reason. We should have made this shift long ago. But there's no time like the present.
That's right. No time like the present. Okay, so we got some interesting questions coming up of a more personal nature for you.
Uh-oh.
Alan from across. No, you played it perfect though. You've got that shit down.
I can't ever do that. That's a mirror. It's the alien. He's drawing me to it.
So Alan Rowe, our buddy over across the pond, says, Steve, what is your favorite Ghostbusters line?
My favorite Ghostbusters line. So I'm not very good. I can only remember movie lines from Blade Runner. It's really the only movie that's sunk into my head. But if I was to do a favorite scene on Ghostbusters, well, the one that pops to mind first, obviously, is the Twinkie scene. That scene's absolutely hilarious. But my favorite character in those movies is Dan Aykroyd, and it's probably the scene when Bill Murray gets slimed in the. I think he's in the library. No, he's in the hotel. He's in some huge hotel. He gets slimed. No, wherever he gets in the hallway of the hotel. He gets slimed, and Dan Aykroyd's character is so much. He's so much like a child. And when he runs up to Bill Murray laying on the floor, and he goes, "You've been slimed," and he scoops the ectoplasmic goo off of Bill Murray. I just absolutely love that. And I got to say, I haven't watched the latest one, but I watched the previous one where the cameos came in, and I thought that was really cool. I was digging that. The car too. I love that car.
Jeremy said, "Dropping off or picking up."
Yeah. Everything about that movie is perfect. That's Annie Potts, right? Everything about that movie is just flawless. I mean, it is just all this. The actors and actresses in it are great. The scenes, the settings. It's just a flawless movie. All right, what's next?
All right, let's see. And this is from, let's see.
Yes, Alan, it was.
Aramal asks, "Do you have a favorite old TSR module?"
Oh yeah, without missing a beat on that one, it's the Village of Hamlet. I absolutely love T1. I have played that thing, God knows how many times, 20 times. It's actually become kind of the center point of the Thursday game that's moved to Tuesday. Yeah, it's T1 Village. Right behind that is it Descent into the Unknown B1? I think it's Descent into the Big Dungeon, the big 2-level dungeon.
Yeah. So,
Secret of Bone Hills.
do you know what my favorite TSR module is?
Is it White Plume Mountain? No, wait, I do. No, I know. It's Isle of Dread.
That's right. That's the man. There he is.
Yeah.
You didn't make no. Though I do run White Plume quite a bit at cons, just because it's not as in depth as Isle of Dread is. Isle of Dread is almost the setting.
Isle of Dread was huge. Sinister Secret of Salt Marsh is fantastic. There's a lot of good
There's some good stuff, man. I love that Tomb of the Lizard King. I used to run that with Baltron's Beacon. It's good stuff. But anyway,
the reason someone said, I miss who said it. Statler said, "Wait, Steve likes a big dungeon adventure." The reason that I like B1 is because there's no monsters or treasure in it. There's none. There's a magic mouth, I think. So I could play that over and over again, and I could just put different stuff in it. So
change it out.
Yep, I was constantly turning the levels upside down. I'm doing all kinds of stuff so that when I would run players, have them come in a different way, open up an interest. I could use that thing so many different directions. It was a lot of fun.
Right. Let's see. Chuck, do you use Isle of Dread and Aired? Absolutely. I use it in the South, right next to the new Isle of Dread that's coming one of these days. The Isle of Inclunade. Anyway, yeah, I certainly do.
When we get these core books done.
Oh God, yeah, I tell you, we could write books forever. We literally could, if we were liches, we could just do it forever. You know it?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. AD&D Mike asked, "Have you tried the limited coconut Dr. Pepper?"
I have not. I never ventured.
I have.
I never ventured from regular Dr. Pepper.
I will tell you, if you get the urge to, don't.
It's
okay. It's okay. I like coconut. It's okay. But I don't know. I think what they need to come out with is a new Dr. Pepper with wild turkey in it already mixed, and I'll be really happy.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway.
I just don't mix anything with my Dr. Pepper. I did in New York. I found, all those street vendors sell bottles of soda, and I won't drink.
Oh no, that's totally. You're like, what is this?
I'm not. That's just not happening. But I did. There was one that had his little stand set up, and he had Dr. Pepper. Now, these guys are really clever, and I appreciate their attention to advertising. When you walk up to these little stands or whatever, all of the sodas have all these beads of water on them, and it looks like they're really super cold. And you're like, sweet, I gotta have a cold soda. They've just sprayed water on it. You pick them up, they're just hot.
Yeah.
So I take them back. I'd get them, take them back to the room, fill my ice bucket, and put a Dr. Pepper in it for about an hour, let it get good and chilled, and have a Dr. Pepper. So I did manage to find Dr. Pepper in a can in New York City.
My dad used to be, and it's sort of similar to you, but not the same at all, way off base. But every morning when he woke up, one of the things he looked forward to once he retired was a tall, ice cold glass of of Florida orange juice. He loved it, and he ordered from someplace in Florida, had it shipped to him. He loved it. So he won a trip one year to Cozumel, Mexico. So he went down there, and he's kind of like you. He's on the hunt for the fresh orange juice. He's going to put it in his refrigerator for later. Well, when he got to the hotel and was looking around, he noticed there were vendors out there, and there was a guy that was selling fresh squeezed, orange juice from Florida. And he went over and talked to the guy for a minute. That's cool. So he said the next morning he got up and he went early to go down to get him some, and they hadn't showed up yet. So he went down the street and got a newspaper and was just kind of reading it, leaning up against the wall, waiting for a guy to open up. And he didn't see the guy come and set the stand up. And then he looked over, and there the guy was selling orange juice to people. He goes, "Oh, I'm about to go get me some." And then the guy that was up there, he saw buying orange juice, walked off. He seen the guy walk around and grab the cups out of the trash and just pour some water in them and swirl it and pour more orange juice and set it out there. And he was like, and he just gave up. But that was it. He was like, "Screw this country." He was so angry.
Yeah, if I can't get Dr. Pepper in a can, I just drink water. I'll just sift the water and I'm good. But I will say imperial sugar, which if you get soda out of Mexico, it's delicious. It's insanely delicious, but it is a little different. You got to kind of adjust to it because they use real sugar.
Oh yeah, like the Mexican Coke. You can tell a difference.
Yeah, whatever we use. I don't know.
Yeah. I've got a Mexican restaurant near here, and they keep all these Mexican stuff in stock that you can go buy their drinks.
Yes, Dr. Pepper, water or nothing. That's about.
That's him. That's him in a nutshell.
I will drink Coca-Cola on ice. I do like Coca-Cola.
We so need to do a book on just how we like our food and our beverages and stuff. It could be fun.
I got all kinds of rituals around it. I won't open a Dr. Pepper on a dirt road. That's insane.
Nope. What people losing their mind doing that shit? What are they talking?
Crazy. Who would do that?
Oh my God. Okay. I think we're all caught up for the moment. We had a bunch in there at one time. That's good.
That's right, Jeremy.
Yeah, Manfred, White Plume's one of my favorites because of the convention, because I'll tell you why I like running White Plume like that. But White Plume Mountain is because it's got 3 different sections to it, and you just pick a section. You can just change and do whatever you want. No one really knows what's happening in that adventure, so it's easy,
The guide to the troll horse is culinary neurosis, and then Alex says, "So here's type 2 diabetes as an advantage."
Yeah.
It's sad. The funny thing is when I decided to cut back on my Dr. Pepper a few years ago, I went to the grocery store to find something to replace it with, and you can't. I'm sure it's different in the United Kingdom, but in the United States, you can't find anything without sugar in it. I was kind of surprised that beef jerky has sugar in it. Why is there sugar in beef jerky? It doesn't make any sense to me. Much of the world doesn't make sense to me, and I'm okay with that. I don't want it to make sense with me. I'm all right. Let's see. Agile Monk says, "I just joined the Patreon at the Troll Lord. At the troll level." I thought I already had, but I wasn't, so I fixed it. Good deal. Well, we'll get back on to padding the Patreon out again very soon. Very soon.
Oh, somebody said, who was it said something about me in here? Said I was wanting to kill your character again. I wasn't trying to kill anyone's character the other day, not anybody in particular. My goal, I had no clue I had no idea what Grace was doing. I didn't know what Steve was playing or Jeremy.
I didn't either.
I just made a character to kill both of them. I'm being honest. That's all I was wanting to do. I was wanting to win. Because Grace was talking.
I didn't know we were doing an arena adventure. I thought we were just doing some adventure.
Oh, really? Well, I'm telling you, if Jeremy would have done what he said he was going to do, it would have been a very ugly scene, probably. But he turned on me. So
yeah, I because you had such an armor class. I was saving Fairy Aura. I had that because he was invisible, and I was going to cast it on him so I could see him.
Dude, if you would have done that, I'd have hunted his ass down.
But I was saving it because your armor class was so huge. I knew I had to kill you first and help Jeremy some, or we were going to die.
My AC was 17, I think, and I had 28 hit points.
Yeah.
And I could do 16 points, and I could do 16 points of damage with one hit.
I had 16 hit points and 13 AC.
Good God. He was a beast. All I did was use a normal half orc. That's all I did. But I mean, still, a fighter.
Well, like I told Grace, I should have read the instructions she sent over. That's on me. That's my fault.
I'm sure she probably knew you wouldn't. She's probably counting on it. Too long, didn't read. Let's see. I got
Every game company.
another question from
Indeed.
Kenny. Kenny says, I imagine it's been said somewhere, but is the intent for the PDF fulfillment on World Builders Kickstarter to release them all at once, or is each one is finished? Oh, that's a good question.
So we will do the PDFs once the book is done. We will send those out, each one. But we will definitely send them to the printer at the same time, or roughly around the same time. The shipping bill on doing those separately would be nuts. For instance, if we ship one book, it's going to say now overseas a whole different problem. But if we ship one hardcover book, it's going to be about $5 media mail. If you ship 11 books media mail, it's going to be about $15 maybe, give or take. So if you do 11 separately, it's going to be $50 to $60 shipping compared to like 15 to 18 or whatever. So it's just that's hope. And I just to let everybody know, and I need to get this update out. Dan, the Canton crew, is ready for editing, and I think he's adding a few charts to the World Builder, and then it'll be ready.
Really?
Yeah, work is. I mean, things are moving forward on every front. I know right now it's all core books, Castles and Crusades, but the Hermit's being worked on. The GFW stuff is being worked on. Amazing Adventures is being worked on. We got the bad asseriest picture for Amazing Adventures. See if I can get this to Chuck so he can put it up. I keep losing it because I haven't got a lot of these pictures that we have scooped up. I don't have the high res files yet, so I got to get that. Wait for those to come in from the artist. Let's see, is it this guy here? It is. All right, Chuck. So I'm just going to send you this link and let you work your magic. All right. It is in this guy. Yeah. So I'm just super excited about what we've managed to put together for the. Now I've completely lost this. I don't know what's going on.
Is this for AA?
Yes, this is for Amazing Adventures. I'm super. I want that set out so bad, that those two books out so bad, that I've been hammering away on getting art. We're just trying to adjust some mess here.
Right.
There we go. All right. But that picture is just too cool. I mean, it's just too cool. Steve, what was your last 9 to 5 job? I worked, 9 to 5. I had a whole bunch of jobs, but before Troll Lord Games, I worked for the city. I don't think it was the state. No, it was the state of Arkansas in their DHS service. I was the assistant to, her name was Evelyn. She was an absolutely wonderful lady that I worked for. And I worked for her for about 18 months, I think, something like that. I think that's the funniest. There's just fun working for the state. It's just funny. It'll give you. Everybody should work for a government for a while, and it'll give you a different perspective of what government is.
I love public school teaching. It was It was great. Some of the greatest times of my life. It's fantastic.
Government is interesting. Everybody should just go work for like a year or so for government, fed, state, county. I don't care what it is.
All right, so
it's just interesting.
Well, I'll get this up real quick. Real quick question. This is from Hagar the Horrible. I know you said you don't follow sports, but as a fellow Southerner, surely I'll call you whatever I want. Do you follow CFB? I'm not sure what CFB is.
I don't know what that is.
He's probably setting us up. I don't trust Hagar. I don't know. I hear he's a horrible guy.
Anyway. College football, maybe.
I'm guessing. If it is,
yes, college football. Yeah. No, I don't follow any of it. A couple of like.
So part of the company does, but he doesn't.
Yeah. Mac is a pretty rabid fan of.
As I found out,
I think the Razorbacks. I can't remember if the Razorbacks or I can't remember who. Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, he likes the Razorbacks. Did you remember that fight I about got into with him and Tim?
That's right. Yeah, it was the Razorbacks.
Yeah, Jesus Lord.
Todd follows.
God.
The NFL a lot. So there's a lot of
sport. Right. Right.
Yeah. Todd follows all. Todd loves any kind of sport. He'll watch anything. I mean, Todd's all over this. So I'm sports adjacent, I suppose. I pick up here and there to let people know my favorite football team is the Vikings. And the only reason it's the Vikings is my dad, when way back in the 70s when he watched football. I remember watching a football game of the Vikings with him, and I thought, well, that's a cool name. So that's why the Vikings are that's my favorite team. So
there's nothing wrong with that, dude. I listen. As a boy growing up, I followed the Dallas Cowboys my whole life, and I love them. Y'all can all kiss my ass if you don't like it. I don't care. But
Todd loves the Cowboys.
you know how I got drug into the Cowboys?
Yeah.
The ladies, the cheerleaders. They had the best cheerleaders in the NFL, man.
Well, there you
I was a young boy, but I knew what I wanted. Football. Sort of.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cowboys.
But I
Yeah,
love the
the
Vikings,
Vikings.
too. Vikings is my second favorite team. That's good.
So I'll give you my second team was the Detroit Lions, and man, I'm sure that my long ago imagination has misremembered this. This is going to be in that late 70s. I just remember watching it at a game with my dad, and this guy in the Vikings. There was this. That's all I remember in my head. There's this huge pile of humanity, and this guy with a football leaped over almost everybody, and I thought that was badass. So the Lions became my second favorite team. I don't know. I don't know if that ever happens. I have no idea. It was a long time ago. But there you go. But I do not follow college football.
Another question for you. Alan Rowe asks, is now a good time to say that UK and EU, Europe, shipping is very competitive for the current Kickstarter? It is a good time to say that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is. And I think we got those rates up there, Alan, and Alan will be helping us with shipping overseas, which is going to be fantastic. So if you are in the United Kingdom or Europe, don't worry too much about the shipping. Now you will have to tackle VAT, the VAT taxes and stuff like that. But the folks over at GMS are helping us out, and it's going to be wonderful, very, very wonderful.
All right, so I'm going to bring this picture in that you have donated to the stream to look at. Here we go. I'm going to open it up.
This will be the headline picture. Absolutely love that thing.
Yeah, it's badass.
It is just through the roof badass.
Yeah, I like it a whole lot. It's good. Oh, and Colonel, I saw your suggestion. Absolutely, I'm working on that. So no worries. That'll be coming up pretty soon, buddy. Let's see. Oh, and I also wanted to thank Bone Shooter. He said, I'd like to take a moment to thank those in Discord for helping out today. We have the best Discord server, and I belong to the max, 200 of them. I'm telling you, ours is the best. Everybody over there is so nice. We don't ever have any drama, hardly ever. I mean, ever. We've been there. We've had that server now for almost 7 years, and it's just been a great place to hang out and talk about games, So, and we enjoy going in there and answering people's questions and stuff. I know you guys appreciate that. Not a question, but an appreciation from Kenny Yeager. Looking on the main side, I saw that you do all your printing and stuff in the States. I appreciate that.
Yes, we absolutely do. Everything's printed in the United States. We have our own print shop that we do soft covers here, and everything else is done in Walsworth, which is up in Missouri. And we even make certain that the paper is made here in the United States. The board, all of that stuff is here.
Right.
We're very proud of that fact. And it's been that way since almost the beginning. In the very, very beginning, we used Canadian printers. And then we moved to USA in like 2002, I think. And it's been that way ever since.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, George Washington crossing the Delaware. There you go.
You got me thinking about that now. I want to go up there for that. Now you've got me.
It's crazy.
I never thought about doing that. I never thought about that all these years.
I never thought it was that big. It never crossed my mind, but it is huge.
Huh. Well, I'll tell you, I'd like to go see it. And thanks, Angel. We appreciate that. And I saw you comment earlier. Thanks for joining the Patreon. That's awesome, dude. And like Steve said, we're trying to get some stuff up there. It's always a challenge. There's another one there, Steve from McLeod.
Have you ever play tested or designed a system for designing your own spells? So I designed a whole lot of spells for the Rune Mark. I think 220 or something like that. And I just ran them at the table. Part of my design process is Jeremy's nightmare process, because I don't really follow a kind of a set piece. This has to do this. All of those rune spells, and the rune spells, the concepts behind the rune spells were designed specifically to kind of play the way that I design, which is the imagination has to run it. You have to say, this is what I want this spell to do. And then the CK using the Cgen is going to say yay or nay, or, however that goes. So that's kind of how I've done that. Not sure that answered your question, but that's kind of how I do it. I do write occasional spells for casters and says that are straight up wizard or cleric spells or whatever. And when I do that, I try to make them somewhat compatible with what we've got going on.
I'll let you take that last question. That's an awesome question, though. It's awesome.
All right, this will be the last question for the day because I do got to run. Is anyone going to track TLG CNC core sales versus Wizards of the Coast D&D report coming out soon? Who knows? I don't know what they're doing. They keep delaying stuff. I have no idea what's going on with Wizards of the Coast. But I can tell you this: our books. I'm in the Player's Handbook right now. It's going to be far, far better than I had even envisioned it.
Yeah.
Y'all's feedback over the past 2 weeks has been amazing, and it has kind of opened my mind to doing something different, both with the Player's Handbook and Amazing Adventures and the Player's Handbook and Castles and Crusades. So there's quite a bit of just visual changes, I think, that everyone will appreciate, plus all the edits and small nuances. And Jeremy went back through and wonderfully fixed the spells, getting rid of diameter and replacing it with radius, which makes it infinitely more playable. And I don't no longer have to sit there and figure out what's going on. Everything is a little bit more dress, which I appreciate. So no matter what happens with Wizards of the Coast, I thought you had already done that. Oh, Lord have mercy, God. There you go. I thought that was done. Yeah, we will have a much better product. There is no doubt. Are we doing giveaways today, Chuck?
We are. I'm getting ready to get in there and do them right now. Let's go do a refresher real quick on something. I think one more question popped in or so too. I switched over. I don't see it at the moment, but if you want to check the last bit of,
See if I can scroll.
I thought it was Alex. It'd be at the very end there, but.
The memes about new. I'm gonna have to check those out, GM Kenny. I have not seen any. I'm gonna have to go track that down.
All right, so let me get over here and get these done.
All right, you do that real quick. What's your elevator pitch for CNC versus D&D? My quick elevator pitch is CNC unlocks your imagination and lets you run the game. Both players and CKs get to control the narrative. They don't have to worry about skills, feats, advantages, whatever's going on. It's really your imagination. The Siege Engine plays into that perfectly. So if you want to play an immersive, imaginative role-playing game where you get to choose your own fate, you get to do what you want to do. Castles and Crusades is the game. D&D is a little bit more structured. Okay, but I believe you go. There you go.
Yeah, he's forgiven. He's forgiven you for liking Dr. Pepper, and he's forgiven me for liking the Cowboys. All right, let's do these. Let's do these drawings. We gotta get out of here. All right, first winner up for a $10 code towards a purchase of any PDF product is Scanian. Scanian, there'll be a link right there to the Discord. If you're not a member, please join.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You can ask, look for Obsidian Risk. He'll be on the right, upper right-hand side, one of the moderators. He'll have you a code. Just got to DM him or tag him or ask around. We'll get you. Next up, it's going to be MSN 2012 Gaming. Congrats. Again. Huzzah. Third one up. Hallgarth. Hallgarth, there you go. You've won.
Nice.
And last but not least, Asher the Bear. Dale. There you go, buddy. All right.
Congratulations.
You just go into Discord and message Obsidian Risk. He should be on the right-hand side. Or you can just ask or whatever, but he should be there. He may be watching the stream. He's the very top of the community team list right now. Obsidian Risk Scott. Yep. But I'm going to actually change that up here soon, guys. I came up with a brilliant idea the other day. But we're going to see if it'll work or not. So I got an idea. So anyway.
Well, brilliant idea.
Yeah. So let's do it.
All right. Everybody, thank you for coming out. It's been a great show.
All right. Have a great day. Oh,
take it easy, everybody.
I'll be back in the morning streaming. So come by and see me if you want, guys.
This
Yeah, I forgot. We got more streams this week. Me and Steve are tired. But yeah, we'll have another stream in the morning. Come by and see us if you want to. I'll be talking about my crafting book and about the M&T and whatever else wanders around. So thanks a lot again, guys. We'll see you.